mommies. Use this if you want to smell like that tea.
You never had to question if you were a man, so why give your money to a corporation that doesn't know if their products are made for men? Try Jeremy Razor's hair and body products. Jeremy shampoo and conditioner are made with tea tree oil to naturally clean and restore your hair and scalp, argan oil to soften your hair and not your masculinity, and aloe vera to moisturize the hair and scalp. It's all paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and most importantly, 100% woke-free. Not to mention, it smells amazing. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to discuss Senator Bob Menendez. He has been indicted or charged with actual financial crimes and, making, embezzling money, trying to, taking bribes, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of stuff with Bob Menendez. Actually, back in 2010, he was charged with the same. It might have been 2017, but anyway, he was charged once before, and they couldn't get their evidence together, but they end up dropping those charges. Now, 3-4 years later, they're charging this man again for basically the same type of crime. And so we're going to discuss Bob Menendez and actually what's been going on with him in his case. So that's all today on another episode of Business Talks.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
Okay, you guys, put in the chat. Let me know where you are viewing from. Thank you for tuning in once again to another episode. Put in the chat. Please let me know where you're viewing from. I see we have Hedley Grange in the building, and she states the voters are ignorant and don't care about Democrat corruption. The only thing the voters cares about is free stuff. The voters in this once great are dopes. A lot of people are persuaded with feelings, and they are persuaded getting a bunch of free stuff. So they really don't really care about the corruptions as long as they feel good, So, and we could say that not necessarily with a Democrat. I think that's goes across the board. Democrats and some Republicans, they feel as if morals and your duties to serve and protect and put Americans first. And as far as on the voter side, hey, just because I got a free check with him, or he's saying or he doesn't support white supremacy, this fictitious boogeyman that's out there. So you vote for that person, and that's basically the Democrats. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, we're actually, I think people are starting to wake up. Hopefully, especially our Black folks are starting to wake up and actually see what the Democrat Party is really not designed for Black folks. Especially, actually, if you really want to be truthful, the Republican Party was started by black people. A lot of people don't know that. But anyway, we could go down that road of history later. Verna Welch from the great state of Texas. Thanks for tuning in. Get Noticed with Nikki. Hello, fam. Thank you for checking in. From Chicago, we have Noble Young in the building. Big Mike from DC. Dorothy Houston. So we got some Texans in the house. Houston is in the house. We got Kennard the DJ. What's good, Chawanne? From Chicago. and Lexi is in the building. You guys, thank you for tuning in once again. Okay, so let's get started. Make sure you can see this. So Senator Bob Menendez, he's been a senator for quite some time. So he's had enough time to do financial crimes. He's been in the Senate he had his seat for a long time. Okay, so anyway, they're saying accusations of bribery against a seasoned politician, and actually is questioning, people are questioning those past charges. Were they really true? Even if they couldn't find the evidence, there's been some other evidence that came to light. They're saying that now they're linking him to another foreign dignitary that he might have taken some bribes from. And not only did they charge Bob Menendez on some charges, they also charged his wife. I believe his wife is from Egypt somewhere, but it says Menendez was found with gold bars and cash were among the bribes allegedly accepted by the senator in 2023 in exchange for hefty political favors. In October, the prosecution pressed more charges against Menendez, claiming that he had plotted to serve as an agent of Egypt, chairing the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. So he was the chair of this Foreign Relations Committee. And I guess since he was over that, he was able to get some things through to actually favor for Egypt. Also, the prosecution claims that he had used his position to back the tiny Gulf state of Qatar. Senator Bob Menendez faced corruption charges back in April 1st of 2015. So those were the charges that I was explaining to you about that. And I'm going to play this video, and this is Senator Menendez talking. Actually, this is not him talking. Let me see if it does. No, this is not it. My bad. Let me go down here. I think it's. Oh, this is not it. Anyway, let me find that right quick. But so this particular article, this is from the New York Post. They're basically saying back in 2015, he was dating some girl he was dating, not his wife now. And they decided not to prosecute him because I guess the evidence that they didn't have enough evidence. It says the Post was sent a version in 2013 and has now obtained a fuller copy of the 13-page document. In 2013, they started to federal investigation for possible influence selling, which led to an indictment but not conviction. And there's a 13-page dossier. This lady that they're showing right here, this was used to be his girlfriend. And they call it sex escapades. I don't know why would they call him. I guess he wasn't married, but he went on cruises and stuff with this lady. And, they traveled out of town. But it says they claimed it was an affair to the Post in 2013. She said allegation peddled by former disgruntled business partner are false and malicious. It's unclear if such a person exists or responsible for the dossier. Anyway, the Post can disclose the dossier claims that the Reynolds boast about the senator piles of cash two friends in 2007. So 2007, 15 years ago, before the FBI allegedly discovered these bags and jackets and boots, stuff with banknotes at his Bergen County home. And, he's a senator in New Jersey, and a cache of gold bars. So, and we're going to find out that his wife is saying that, no, these gold bars that you found, that was from my mother-in-law, but it wasn't. It was actually from this foreign dignitary that he did favors for. Anyway, she knows a lot of intimate stuff about Menendez, and even knows federal and state secrets and all of the kickback schemes, etc. The document claims. She boasted to her friends that he always had bundles of cash laying around in the safe in hidden places. She was told by him that he has kickbacks from contractors and influence-seeking people. Now, does this sound familiar? Now, Bob Menendez, I don't know how good he is about hiding his crimes. Apparently, he's not that good, because he told the lady that he was sleeping with. Why would you do that? I'm not for sure. But does it sound familiar? I think we're going to find out when we find out where Tiffany is. I hate to bring Tiffany Henyard in there, but when we find, because this is the same type of MO. When we find where Tiffany is laying her head, she probably will have a bunch of cash hidden somewhere, that's in a safe or somewhere. Doubt if it would be any gold bars, because she's just robbing from the people, the citizens of her town, not, US. She doesn't have any contacts with foreign dignitaries. But what I said before about Tiffany, hey, somebody is protecting her higher up. That's why this whole her whole ordeal that's why it's gone on so long. Anyway, so I believe this is Reynolds in 2005 and he alleged to have seduced her in 2007 by offering her a trip to Puerto Rico, staying at the governor's official beach house. The photo matches images of the beach house. So, he's been all around with her. Now, if you let's go back to his original story. Okay, and so this is the United States Attorney's Office. U.S. Senator Bob Menendez, his wife, and 3 New Jersey businessmen charged with bribery offenses. Okay, this was back in September of last year. Now they're saying that Damian Williams, this is the district attorney of New York, and James Smith, assistant director in charge of the New York field of FBI investigation, announced that they were indicting Robert Menendez and his wife, Nadine Menendez. Now, we're going to find out that Nadine, she coordinated some of the things into, I believe, the Qatar, and I think the guy that was from Egypt, she knew him. She introduced him to Bob. I think that's how that actually happened. So that's why she was tied up into it. Anyway, so there was like a regular Bonnie and Clyde. Now, if you could see, he had like several jackets where the pockets were stuffed full of money. Like, where are you going? And this is his jacket. It says Robert Menendez. It's the senator seal on there. And, it's stuff full of cash. It says between 2018. Let me just read. this top part. Robert Menendez is a senior U.S. senator from New Jersey and currently chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Now, he's already stepped down when these charges were about or came about. They told him to step down and he agreed to step down. But he's still an active senator. And he's saying it's saying that Nadine Menendez began dating in February of 2018. They became engaged in 2019 of October, and they married in October of 2020. Shortly after that, they began dating. Nadine introduced to her longtime friend, Wael Hannah, who is originally from Egypt. Remember, I told you she introduced Bob to her friend. Okay, so that's why she's being charged. He lived in New Jersey and maintained close connections with the Egyptian's official. Hannah was also business associates with Fred Diabes, a New Jersey real estate developer and a longtime donor to Menendez. Jose Uribe, who worked in New Jersey insurance and trucking business. And it says between 2018 and 2020, Menendez and Nadine agreed to and did accept hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of bribes from Hannah, Diabes, and Uribe. These bribes included gold cash, luxury, convertible payments towards Menendez's home mortgage, compensations for low or no show job for Nadine Menendez, home furnishing, and other things of value. So they receive a lot of gifts. You know, they paid their mortgages off. They got a luxury car, and it was I'm not for sure how old the car was, but it was a drop top Mercedes Benz. Home furnishings and other things of value. And so in June of 2022, the FBI executed a search warrant at the New Jersey home. I wonder how they just got wind of it. Maybe they caught one of these people up and they said, oh, or they probably, once the FBI probably had him on their radar, and they're like, oh, you did this crime before. We didn't get you prior, but we know you still doing dirty stuff. So we're just going to keep you on our radar. We're just going to keep monitoring you. And they probably caught some of his friends up in something, and they told on him. Okay. During the search, FBI found many of fruits of the bribery scheme, including cash, gold, luxury convertible, a home furnishing, over $480,000 in cash. Much of it stuffed into envelopes, hiding in clothing, closets, and safe. It sounds like Bob was trying to prepare for a clean getaway. Bob was trying to make sure once the charges came down, he was able to flee the country. Okay. And it was discovered in their home, as well as over $70,000 in cash in Nadine's safe deposit box, which was also searched pursuant to a separate search warrant. Some of the envelopes contained fingerprints of DNA of Diabes or his driver. So you can't lie. That's why they linked them up. Well, why is he giving you so much money? Why is Diabes is giving you so much money? Is because you're doing something for him. There's no reason, unless he did a job for you or you did a job for him, but you're supposed to be a U.S. senator. So like plainly in our face, they're doing this. Let me get to some of your chats. Lexi said Bob is a scam. And Bob case been going on for decades. Yes, Lexi. And I guess they never put the two and two together. They never got enough evidence. DJ Kennard said Tiffany gonna be lifting mad weights in the yard, getting buff as hell. The feds should put Tiff to work making wigs in Fed penitentiary. Yeah, you know, they're going to be looking a mess without them wigs. Woo! Just imagine. Brand new Mercedes. Yeah, Lenny Malley. Yes, this person, Bob, received the brand new Mercedes. Now, if we look at this, these are the jackets that they found full of cash. Like, well, where are you going, Bob? And they want to make sure Senator Menendez, they want to, you could have like put it somewhere else. Have you ever watched the movies? You don't put all your money in at the house. Maybe you have like a location, a storage unit where you could go to, you just paying cash for, you put it under a false name, a pseudo name or something. So you could make a clean getaway, but no, they decided to, and you could have paid your storage unit in full for several years. But no, they decided he wanted to keep his stuff where he was at and put it in his jacket just in case somebody try to claim his jacket. I don't know. Why would somebody try to claim your jacket at home? Anyway, this is crazy. So it says during the same search, agents also find home furnishings provided by Hana and Diabes. The luxury vehicle paid for by Uribe was parked in the garage, as well as over $100,000 worth of gold bars in the home, which were provided by either Hana or Diabes. Two of the gold bars Diabes provided are depicted in the photographs below. Okay, so these are Swiss Bank Stamp Corporation, and it says 1 kilo. In exchange for these things and other things of value, Menendez agreed to use his power and influence as a senator to seek to protect Hana, Uribe, and Diabes' interests and to benefit the government of Egypt. Oh, for what? Through this corrupt relationship, Menendez agreed to take a series of official acts and breaches of his official duty. First, Menendez took action to benefit the government of Egypt and Hana, including by improperly pressuring an official at the U.S. Department of Agriculture to seek and to protect the business monopoly granted to Hana by Egypt. Okay. So, you know, enrich themselves. So, hey, you enrich me, I'm going to enrich you. Okay. You do some favors so my business can be protected. So these laws could be passed and I could actually start really making money in my business if you get this law passed or whatever they're trying to do. Anyway. And then it says the second, Menendez took action seeking to disrupt a criminal investigation undertaken by the Office of New Jersey Attorney General related to Uribe and his associates. The third, Menendez recommended that the president nominated a U.S. attorney who Menendez believed he could influence with respect to Diabes and sought to disrupt a federal prosecution undertaking by the U.S. Attorney Office and District Attorney of Diabes. And it's saying that he promised actions to benefit Egypt and pressure the U.S. agriculture. Okay. Let me go to so you could see what they're talking about on this particular. And this is, he's just back in court for his corruption.
Federal courtroom for his corruption trial. The hearing is scheduled for around 2:30 this afternoon. Senator Menendez pleaded not guilty to bribery charges last Wednesday. Prosecutors saying his wife accepted gold bars and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in exchange for his political influence. He was released on a $100,000 bond. Senator Menendez has denied any wrongdoing and refuses to resign despite calls from within his own party to do so.
He's not going to resign because for some reason they like to stick it out. Actually, this if they want to really be on the up and up, and I'm talking about the Democratic Party, they should impeach him. Impeach him. They should. They should kick him out, just like they did George Soros. Well, not George Soros. The crazy guy. You know what I'm talking about. He's from New York. George Santos. They kicked George Santos out. They should kick Bob Menendez out. And they're afraid to do that because they'll have to hold a special election, and that seat might go to a Republican. I'm not for sure. It's New Jersey, so I'm not for sure how they lean politically. I'm not for sure. I think that's a blue state, right? You guys put in the comment. I don't follow New Jersey like that. But the Democrats, they don't want to lose that seat. And let's just go back to this indictment. Make sure. It says shortly after she began dating Menendez in 2018, Nadine worked with Hana to introduce the Egyptian intelligence and military officials to Menendez. Those introductions helped establish a corrupt agreement in which Hana, with the assistance from Diabes and Uribe, provided bribes to Menendez and Nadine in exchange for Menendez's actions to benefit Egypt and Hana, among others. As part of the scheme, Menendez provides sensitive, non-public U.S. government information to Egyptian officials and otherwise took steps to secretly aid the government of Egypt. This is espionage. You're selling government secrets, basically, to enrich your own personal life. You're going against all the things that you swore oath to protect, and that's America, number one. And it doesn't matter what, it sounds like they want, to probably produce some type of seeds, or they're in agriculture. So we don't know what. I have to look to see what type of business Hana has, but you're selling out. You're selling America out, basically. For example, in or about 2018, Menendez provided Egyptian officials with non-public information regarding the number and nationality of persons serving at the U.S. Embassy in Cairo, Egypt. Why would you do that? Although this information was not classified, it was deemed highly sensitive because it could pose significant operational security concerns if disclosed to foreign government or made public. Without telling his professional staff or the State Department he was doing so, on about May 7, 2018, Menendez texted that sensitive non-public embassy information to his then girlfriend Nadine Menendez, who forwarded the message to Hana, who forwarded the message to Egyptian government official. Later that same month, Menendez ghost wrote a letter on behalf of the Egyptian to other U.S. senators, advocating for them to release a hold of $300 million in aid to Egyptian. Menendez sent this ghost written letter to Nadine Menendez, who forwarded to Hana, who sent it to Egyptian officials. So that $300 million, I guess we was holding it probably maybe for sanctions or something like that. Or maybe they voted that in for aid. We always aid in some foreign countries and they never provide help to us. We don't know. But anyway, apparently they released it, $300 million, and they got paid for it. Okay, at various times between 2018 and 2022, Menendez also conveyed to Egyptian officials through Nadine Menendez and Hana or Diabes that he would approve or remove holds on foreign military financing and sales of military equipment to Egypt in connection with his leadership role on the SFRC. For example, July the 18th, following Menendez meeting between Menendez and the Egyptian officials, which were arranged and attended by Nadine, Hannah and Menendez text Nadine Menendez that she should tell Hannah that Menendez was going to sign off on that multi-million-dollar weapon sales to Egypt. I mean, some of this stuff, I'm not for sure our relationship with Egypt. I'm not for sure if it's good. I think it's a more neutral one. I don't know if Egypt is our ally or anything like that. But why would you do that? I mean, what's the point of doing this? Of course, he wanted some money. And it says they made similar communications over issuing of years. For example, in 2022, Menendez sent Nadine a link to a news article reporting 2 pending foreign military sales to Egypt, totaling approximately $2.5 billion. Nadine Menendez forwarded this link to Hannah, writing, "Bob had to sign off on this." And they probably said, "Oh, great, here's your check." In exchange for Menendez's agreement to take these and other actions, they promised payments, including the ISEG Halal Certificate Incorporated, a New Jersey company that Hannah operated with financial support and backing of Diabez. However, ISEG Halal had little to no revenue until the spring of 2019, when the government of Egypt granted the ISEG Halal a monopoly on the certification of U.S. food exports to Egypt as compliant to halal standards, despite the fact that neither Hannah nor his company had experience with halal certification. The monopoly generated revenue for Hannah, through which he paid Nadine as promised. So he wanted halal to export halal to Egypt, halal meats to Egypt. Because it's kind of weird. Why would you accept halal meat? Maybe their infrastructure is not set up to produce halal meat in Egypt. That is kind of asinine to do that. Why wouldn't you just have it in-house? I don't know. That's just my own personal opinion. But anyway, because the monopoly resulted in an increase of cost for U.S. meat suppliers in or about April and May 2019, the USDA contacted the government of Egypt and sought reconsideration of its grant of monopoly rights in ISEG Halal. After being briefed on the USDA's objection to IS Halal's monopoly by Hannah and Nadine Menendez on May 23rd, 2019, Menendez called a high-level USDA official and insisted that the U.S. stop opposing the status as a sole halal certifier. So they was trying to clean it out. You know, they was trying to clean out the piggy bank. And if they were the only ones, you know, they could really control the price. And so Menendez said, "Hey, you know, you stop opposing their status." Why the monopoly was detrimental to the U.S. interests. And this is what the official was trying to explain to him. Menendez reiterated his demand that the USDA stop interfering with ISEG Halal's monopoly. Official 1 did not accede to Menendez's demand, but IS Halal nevertheless kept its monopoly. After financially benefiting from the monopoly, Hannah, at times with the assistance of Diabez and Uribe, provided payments and other things of value furtherance of the scheme. For example, on 2019, after the company for the residents of Nadine initiated a foreclosure procedures. Hannah calls allowed to pay approximately $23,000 to bring the mortgage current. So you're receiving bribes. What are you doing with your money? Why can't you pay your own mortgage? Hannah did so after the series of discussions with Nadine, as well as Uribe and Diabez, about various options for bringing up the mortgage current. Later in 2019, Hannah and Diabez caused ISD Halal to issue three $10,000 checks for a low or no-show job. I don't know what that means. Maybe they was trying to note the checks to be fake, so they won't red flag, hey, this is embezzlement or bribery scheme. I don't know. As the scheme continued, including through the additional actions described below, and Menendez and Nadine receive additional bribes. And so in 2019, he disrupted the case because they was under investigation with the Attorney General in New Jersey. So Menendez was calling the office trying to pressure the officials to make sure the prosecution turned out more favorable to Hannah and Uribe. And that's when they bought that 2000, a brand new Mercedes-Benz convertible, C300, worth more than $6,000. That's what they said. And Nadine, they gave Nadine $15,000 for a cash payment for the down payment of the convertible. And they also, they had another thing that they was trying to disrupt. Promise action seeking disrupt of the U.S. attorney in New Jersey. And it's saying that the federal criminal charges for obtaining loans under false pretenses from New Jersey banks he founded between 2020 and 2022. And he was trying to attempt to influence pending federal prosecution of Diabez in exchange for cash, furniture, and gold bars. In furtherance of the scheme, Menendez recommended that the president nominated an official as the U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey, who Menendez believed he could influence with the respect of Diabez in the case. So he tried to influence the case by getting his people elected. He could face up to 5 years of prison for the conspiracy to commit bribery and honest service fraud, which carries up to 20-year prison sentence. Extortion carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. Nadine is facing 20 years. She's facing the same count. Hannah Ford, he's 40. And Jose Uribe, he's 56. Diabez is 66. They could face up the maximum of 5 years in prison and 20 years for honest service fraud. All three of them. So that's your case with Bob Menendez. He's a mess. Lenny said all this was going on under Obama and much worse. Yeah, I don't think if we look at like fraud activity in the US, I think, I'm not saying the US, I'm just talking about in the political realm. I think it's it's not in our face. You really have to do some digging. But Bob, he was sloppy. He was like, calling. It's one thing to put yourself in the middle of trying to persuade things to make things happen. Then you're calling other people. You're trying to get on other people. Oh, this is the senator. You need to stop putting pressure on so and so, or take it easy on this person. So it's like he injected himself in everybody else's business where he shouldn't have been. And sometimes he probably thought he had the right to, because he's the senator and he thought he never would get caught. In this other story that I showed you with the New York Post, it's saying that he's been doing this bribery stuff since 2005. And it's saying that it says Robert Jr., now a New Jersey congressman, and Alicia, now an MSNBC anchor, ended in divorce in 2005. And amid allegations that he had left her for his one-time aide, Kay Lakowski, 20 years his junior. They never confirmed the relationship. But Bob does like the younger girls. He likes the younger girls. This whole article is pretty salacious. It's talking about his extramarital affairs, or just him, gallivanting across the world with this girl. Anyway, now this is weird. Gwendolyn Beck, he was in a relationship with Gwendolyn Beck, and Gwendolyn Beck is a former money manager for Jeffrey Epstein. That's crazy. Beck was photographed partying at Mar-a-Lago with the dead pedophile in 2000, along with Prince Andrew and Donald Trump's then girlfriend, Melissa Knowles, now the former First Lady. Beck managed Epstein's money at Morgan Stanley. They said he was evicted for not paying rent. And New Jersey revoked his nonprofit status, according to the public records. So, I mean, but they always voted him in. He's been tied or entangled with some sketchy people. They brought charges on him, but he's managed to get reelected time and time again. And I bet you they will reelect him. All this stuff they found out about Menendez, they will still reelect this guy. So anyway, I didn't have much to talk about today. I thought Fani Willis was going to some more news about Fani Willis' case was going to come about, but they haven't dropped anything. Yeah, they haven't said anything about Fani. I guess they're still, the judge, he heard some arguments from both parties, and he's making his decision whether or not Fani Willis is going to, you know, be able to stay on the trial or not. So you guys, let me know what you think. I have a few videos dropping with Tiffany Henyard in it, and a couple of videos that I did. We talked about the day before, so stay tuned for that. Tomorrow's Friday, so tomorrow's our evening time. So hopefully we'll have some news about Fani Willis. If we do, we'll be talking about that. Okay. So thank you for tuning in. I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.